good evening, or good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Mr. Reed. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Really concerned about a lot of people's, you know, hard fought investment over the course of the last couple of years. Since early 2024, a lot of us have been involved in BlockDAG, and it had a lot of promising metrics to it, and it seemed like uh, it was going to be something that we could launch and be proud of, and um, then it turns out that there was a lot of deceit involved. That the guy who was the CEO, Anthony Turner, was not in fact in control of the most important things, which are finances and decisions on how the pre-sale was going to be operated, which included um, essentially overselling the pre-sale allocation by not just a little bit, but over double. Um, the pre-sale allocation was supposed to be 50 billion tokens, and the last numbers I heard was around 125 billion is what was sold, and they had to reduce that down to, to where people who bought bonus tokens and stuff like that on these crazy promotions wound up being told that they were going to have to take a 75% cut, just about on their tokens. And then there were some different models that they were going to do. So some would be hit more and some would be, well, I don't think anybody was really hit more than 75, but proportionately it kind of worked out in a fair manner. And this was 2 or 3 months ago, and we still haven't gotten to the bottom of exactly what people's um, um, sorry, exactly what people's allocation is going to be. And come around New Year's this year, uh, we found out that Gerhan Kiselos is in fact the founder, which we had kind of already um, alluded to and hypothesized about as a community, and a lot of allegations were out there that he was. Um, but then he came out. I want to say it was like the 31st or something like that of December that he was, and he was the founder and put $14 million up or something like that to get this thing started. And he just cleaned the house, wiped out everybody who had been building for the last 18 months or so. And you were involved in that cleaning of house, and now you're going to talk about all the things BlockDAG.
Yes, I am. So, um, it's been a pretty crappy morning for me. I mean, my LinkedIn and my WhatsApp has been hacked. My WhatsApp was hacked this morning. Um, Before I start, I want to just make a few disclaimers, and I want it to be very clear. I have no documentation. This is first-hand knowledge. In other words, what I heard or what was told to me by specific people. The second thing I want to make very clear is that no one in the team knew anything about G. I know that because as HR and I onboarded them.
By G,
They
that's
are
that's Gerhan Kiselos.
no, no, they were onboarded by Anthony.
Right, but what I'm
Anthony was
saying, when
about.
you're saying G, you're saying Gerhan Kiselos. That's what he goes by. That's
We
his.
didn't know that. We didn't even know that. So I want to make it clear that all teams, the international team and the South African team, were onboarded under Anthony's leadership. We knew nothing about G, nothing. We only know he was G. He was a founder and he wanted to stay silent. So that didn't raise any red flags to us because, in corporate structures, there are silent investors that don't want to be mentioned. And at the end of the day, my contract is between me and Anthony. And everyone else. So we didn't, there was no reason to question it. He's our boss, he pays our bills, whatever he would include or exclude has nothing to do with us. The third thing I want to make very, very clear is that um, I'm betraying friendships very close to me, and they know who they are, and I'm not going to say who. And I want to say that these people had helped me in my personal capacity as a mom with two kids many times. They were great friendships, and I'm suffering a great personal loss by not having those friendships because I am, in fact, betraying their confidence. And for that, I am really, really sorry. But I am a Christian, and my opinion is that only God's opinion of me counts. I don't care about anything else. And his throne is built on righteousness and truth and justice. So I will let any friendship go that does not align with that. What I want to say, though, to them is I am so sorry. But also, thank you for everything that you've done for me. You know who you are. Um, but I will not stand by evil because those who see evil and do nothing about it is as guilty as those who do evil, and I won't. So those are my disclaimers from the word go that everyone knows. Also, I've never breached any private company information. All the information that I have given and shared had been on my personal WhatsApp group, my data. I created it. It was not under a BlockDAG flag. It was not an official BlockDAG channel. It was my personal data that I leaked. Okay.
Well, I just want to
So
go ahead
let's
and throw
start.
this out there. Um, I texted Anthony Turner about 5 hours ago now, and I said, "Look, we're at a real." I'll read to you exactly what I said. I've already posted it in some chats. So I like to be accurate as much as I can. I said, "Anthony
Of
Turner,
course.
I'm at a point of releasing everything, all the documents, everything. We are running out of time." And essentially, um, the same as you had just said, I do believe in confidence. When stuff's shared with me, I try to tell the community the gist of what it is that's going on. That, hey, we got unpaid partnerships. Hey, there's employees who are not getting paid. Development is running a little bit slow. We don't quite have um, um, a main net that's ready to go. You know what I mean? The miners should have been paid for in October. You know what I mean? And I say these things, but I actually have the contract. I actually have email threads that have been sent to me. I have people from within BlockDAG who have been sending me emails, basically whistleblowing. And so I am claiming whistleblower status within any of this. That essentially the investors in this need to know this information to be able to make an informed decision. And not just
Okay.
having to hear my words for it, because I'm telling you the truth. I've been telling you the truth. But what's that? No, the community told you a scam, but I trusted GK's word and prolonged the legal side. No, that's not actually the case. Uh, I was letting the CEO be the CEO. But I appreciate you, Alex, and you do like to troll me. But in any case, I'm watching the chat here a little bit. So
But he is amazing. If it's the same Alex we're talking about, because
I don't
he's
know.
also
This is
also
not
one of my
German,
ambassadors,
Alex.
and he uses all 25,000 words in a minute. So if it's
No,
essay
because
like,
he would call
that's
me
fine.
Courtney. He would call me Courtney if it was that, Alex. But so,
Okay.
anyways, like I'm claiming whistleblower status because there's gonna be some stuff. I'm gonna open up a OneDrive, and I have um, created a form document for exchanges so that the community is going to be able to input their information into this form document, their name, what exchange it is, and be able to send this out. And I'm going to provide the link to this OneDrive that is going to be loaded with all the chats, with personal chats between me and Nick, me and Mo and Nick, me and Anthony, me and Mo and Anthony. And I even included some of your tidbits in there of you talking about pay and this and that and whatever. Of course, you and I weren't really ever talking about high level stuff. You know what I mean? That wasn't really your scope. You know, you were working with community and stuff like that. So never once were we talking about tokenomics. Never once were we talking. I mean, we might have bitched about it, but we weren't making any kind of like demands upon it. So in any case,
so I can't speak to tokenomics. I can't speak to mining. I can't speak to any of that. I can only speak to what I know and my remit, and that's it.
So I'm going to be making anything. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I thought you were done.
No. Go for it.
No. I'll interrupt. People get on to me about it.
You can interrupt.
So yeah, I'm gonna make that available. I was working on I'm trying to get the stupid stuff out because I like to send gifts. I talk in gifts a lot, and
oh, I know.
Is that is Courtney?
I love them.
Oh, he did call me Courtney. Anyways, so maybe it is Alex from Germany. I don't know. But
yeah, no. He's an amazing guy.
All right,
but he uses all his words.
Yeah, I do like Courtney. Or Alexis, as I like to call it.
Okay.
So, anyways, I just want to say that yes, I was working on it. I was hoping to have it done by the time this show started, but it's going to take me probably another 30 minutes to an hour after the show is done to go through and just make sure that it's actually got the good data in it. And there's a gentleman who created a nice document of some of the stuff that I had sent to Vera, VARA. And so he consolidated all that down to one PDF, and it's 350 pages long. It's a monster. And so essentially my opinion about the whole thing, I'm just going to spit it out real quick and then we can start back over, is that we can't let them list at what we've got. We've got unpaid partnerships with Alpine. We've got
no minus.
A cease and desist order from I can't remember the name, but the
Alpine.
Well, Alpine but the football club. Sorry, I'm blanking. So
Alpine as well.
So we're talking about $6 million in liability from Alpine. We're talking about another $5, $6, $7 million in liability from this football club. And God knows what else is out there that we're unaware of. So, you know, what it feels like and what it really seems like and what Nick is even saying in between all of his words on these AMAs is that this referendum, I like that, riffraff, it is like a way to punt the responsibility over onto the community. Yeah, Borussia Dortmund. That's it. Thank you, Alex. They're going to punt that responsibility for the crash over onto the community because, they chose 40% vesting and, we're empowering you. And it's just a sneaky move by Gurhan Kieselos.
Well, basically, they're giving you a multiple choice question where you choose one of the four. No matter what you choose, you're going to be tanked or either way because they will just shift the responsibility and say, well, you chose it. So it failed because you chose it.
Right.
Which is why I said on the Telegram group, do not vote. Do not vote.
So,
like you and Morris said yourself, do not vote.
I'm not going to give legitimacy to something that's illegitimate.
It's not a vote. It's if I give you four options and say choose one of the four, that's not a vote. That's I already preset those questions for you and forcing you to choose one of the four. That's not a vote. It's definitely not transparency. But anyway.
All right. So how'd you wind up at BlockDAG? You were walking around, minding your own business, and then next thing you know.
No. No, no. Okay. So I'm gonna just tell you my personal journey and what I experienced. Once again, this is only my opinion and my opinion only. Um, assumptions or my assumptions and my assumptions only. I want that to be very clear. Okay. So I was a recruiter for BlockDAG for about 2 months. And then there were various positions available, and Jeremy said to me, "Why don't you go to Anthony and tell him you can do it?"
Jeremy
And I
Hartness,
did.
CTO.
Yeah, yeah. And I did. So I pitched myself into the job. So Anthony offered me the role. I worked hard from Joburg
So you
until
were working
April.
remotely as a recruiter.
uh, well, for 2 months, and then I was officially onboarded, and then I worked remotely from Joburg. In April, I then had to move, but obviously, I was indicted in Joburg, so I couldn't start the first. So for 2 weeks, I had to stay in Joburg.
April of 25.
25, but my contract
Okay.
says February, so
Okay.
I officially started as an employee in February.
Okay.
Um, so my whole reason for joining BlockDAG is Jeremy. I think he's an absolute visionary. He's the best CTO that I've actually ever met in my whole life. He is so passionate about this project. Um, and I can tell you, if there was anyone that could do this, it was Jeremy, or is Jeremy. He's he, I was so enthralled by what he did that I was like, shit, I just have to be part of this. And especially in IT, like tech moves so fast. If you don't move with the tech, you get you stay behind. So um, what Jeremy had built was just next level. So I completely said, right, let's go, Cupcake. I'm leaving it all behind. I'm putting my two kids and my dad in my Land Rover and my clothes. That's about it. And we drove for 18 hours straight to Cape Town.
Across Africa.
Um, Well, South Africa, like 18
I
hours with
like the
two
way I said
kids.
it.
Trust me. You don't want to be in a car for 18 hours with two kids. Anyway, so I joined BlockDAG, joined the offices. In that time, I helped build the team that was part of my function. And we never knew the founder, never. We only knew his name was G. We never had contact with him. I've never seen his face until the last AMA, none as any of the team members. We were completely siloed. We knew nothing. And actually, for us, it wasn't a red flag because we weren't reporting into him. We were reporting into Anthony. And our contract was with Anthony,
I want
and
to
he's paying
interrupt
my
you real
salary.
quick. In the
Go for it.
ambassador chat, when after I got onboarded, I was one of the first ambassadors onboarded, very very early in the ambassador program, and um, I would ask you what had taken place for the AMA, and you were like, I didn't even know there was an AMA. We're not talking about these ones that were happening every day. This is before me and Mo came on and did the first AMA with Anthony and Nick back October 24th. These were, when they were a lot more sporadic and far apart. You wouldn't even know there was an AMA taking place, which was very strange
Exactly.
to me. I would think that, like, you know, they
Exactly.
would want
We knew
pretty much the
nothing.
whole
We would
company
literally
to
come
watch
in.
the AMA so they would know what the vibe is and what's being
Yeah.
put out there,
Yeah.
and it would
Yeah.
always, you
No,
wouldn't even know what the heck they were talking about when I would bring it up.
no,
And so I
no.
want to just confirm that I witnessed that myself, and I started
Yeah.
sending you links to the AMAs, when they
Crazy.
would come in.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's totally crazy that they wouldn't
Yes.
advertise that to their employees.
So
All right, so
so joined the company. Anthony was in continual conversations with G, but we were completely left in the dark in terms of who he was, what he was. Um, we knew nothing. We were taking instructions from Jeremy and from Anthony, and no employee knew. And for me, the worst is that I onboarded many of the guys, not knowing any of this. So completely blameless. And for that, I really, I feel a lot of conflicting emotions around that. Um, I'm here for two reasons only. One, I want my team to get paid. That's it. I sent Nick a message yesterday saying if my whole team does not get paid, I will speak to a crypto journalist last night and I will go live.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. Just for clarity's sake. So joined the company, started onboarding people left, right, and center. And these guys, seriously, each on their own are superstars. The amount of work that they have put in. There were 3 employees that also relocated and left everything behind to come to Cape Town for this. So after a while, everything was running smoothly, payments were being made. However, because marketing was not handled by us, but by Dubai, we had no control over marketing whatsoever. So we would come Monday, open up the website, and we'll go, are you freaking kidding me? Another pre-sale? Or they'll set a date on technical requirements, and we're like, what?
But I
Because
want to
because
clarify. I don't think you really mean another pre-sale. You mean another promotion, another crazy.
well,
You're not
all I'm
talking
saying
about a
is
different
we
project
came in.
like
No, like we came in, saw the website, and went, what?
right. But you're talking
What just
about the
happened?
BlockDAG pre-sale, not another
The
pre-sale.
No, the BlockDAG pre-sale. The
Right.
marketing was completely controlled by Dubai.
Right.
So we had no control over it. Whatever they pushed out there, we just had to toe the line. Whatever technical stuff they said would be done at some time, the engineering team had to work in 18 hours, 20 hours, whatever, to meet deadlines that should have been set by the engineering team, not by the marketing team.
Right.
So we were completely caught with our pants down all the time. Then uh, about I can't give you exact dates, so I'm gonna guesstimate here about 2, 3 months, maybe even 4. Because I also load all the payments for the company and the bills and all of that, and reported straight into Anthony and handled the payroll. There started to be some red flags. Um, and I reported it to whomever I did, and said, there's something not right. Anthony at that time had been fighting continuously for funds to be released. And that came in through like sporadically, right? So you pay a deposit for Alpine, but then you don't honor the rest of the agreement. Or you pay a deposit for your grant's first milestone, but then you don't honor milestone 2, 3, and 4. These are big problems for me. And I started speaking to Anthony, like really frankly about it. What happened next then was about 4 to 5 months ago, Nick went to Dubai to go stay there. Now, understand, Token 2049, we were already marketing the Buildathon. It was all over the banners. It was all over the internet. And we were going to host the platform through Akindo. And they required an upfront monies for their services as well as the prize money upfront, obviously. What happened was then that wasn't honored. They got paid the sign-up fee, but they did not get the funds released for the pool money. I obviously, I mean, you can only apologize so many times. So what happened then is we had to literally build out the buildathon green fields wave by wave because it's happening. It's people are there. You can't just go, oh, sorry. Like the technical team was actually pulling all-nighters to build out the buildathon green fields to try and save it. Um, then I started having frank conversations with Anthony. I would also like to state that Nick did not know about G at all when he joined. He had no idea who he was. And he was also kept in the dark, much as we were. Then in Dubai, when Anthony and Nick went to Dubai, Nick actually met G for the first time. Uh, they started then to become like really a lot of red flags, like statements being made by Nick saying we have to control the token price of the launch. And we were like, are you insane? It is open source. That is fraud. You can't control the price after launch. He then disappeared to Dubai. So I also said to Anthony, he is our South African CMO. Why is he in Dubai? He should be serving the South African team. That is why he is here. Anthony also helped Nick because Nick was literally living on the floor of one of his friends, and Anthony gave him this role and gave him a massive salary and literally saved him from a very dark place. He then disappeared to Dubai. I said to Anthony, I've got a big problem with that. Then what happened was I had a conversation about pre-sales, and I asked straight out, I want to know in full transparency, what is the pre-sales? What was actually raised? The information given to me was 60 million, 30 million if we're lucky. I said to Anthony, this is a massive problem. Nick then went on the AMA with Anthony, the last one, where Anthony was trying to be transparent with the community, while Nick still kept on pushing the WPRO. They just a vendor.
That's the one
Don't
me
worry
and Mo
about
were on for
them.
the first time.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the only vendor. There's no other marketing vendors but WPRO. They do all the marketing. They
Right.
have handled all the marketing from the word go. So what is on the website is completely fraudulent. That's absolutely not what was raised. Not near that. Not near that. I was then also told that the money was funneled via various gambling businesses from G. Call it cleaning, whatever.
Yeah.
Profit was being made 4 times more from his gambling businesses, which is why he couldn't pay staff that needed to be paid, like operational staff, bills, because he had to. I don't know what he did. I have no knowledge of that, but in my own opinion, due to his multi wallets, probably had to kind of go dig someplace and send over money. I don't know. I can't comment on that. But what I do know is that the pre-sale money was actually funneled through his gambling business. Um, Anthony then wanted, as I understand, I have no knowledge of his contract, um, but I am pretty much assured he's under heavy NDAs. And one of the things of the letter of intent was that he would be completely transparent about the actual pre-sales launched.
Right.
G refused that,
Right. That was
and
a
he said
big
under no circumstance.
yeah, I know he told me the same thing that, that was one of the big clauses in there that was fighting, and they wound up having to uh he had to let that go to be able to get the thing signed.
Correct, correct. Um, but I said to Anthony then that I absolutely will not stand with Nick because he straight-faced lied to the community. By that time, that was a few amazing ago, we already started getting wind from from mostly from the community and what you and Mo kind of uncovered about G. And I said that he was lying to the community. I'm not going to stand with that. And that, and I said to Anthony, Nick needs to be fired because he will hang you. Anthony then phoned G and asked G if he fired Nick, would there be any implications? And G said to Anthony, not at all. I don't give a fuck about him. Sorry for my French. You can do with him what you want. Funny that he's CEO right now. However, that was from G himself. I said to Anthony then that I will not stand with Nick in what way whatsoever. And due to the fact that Anthony wanted to be transparent and they refused him, he got fired because he wanted to be honest. And I don't know his background. I don't know the whole setup. And to be honest, I don't really care. I care about what you do at the last minute. The last minute is he wanted to be fully transparent. He already had created a multi-sig wallet for me and for Jeremy to get the expenses and monies over so that we could run a properly structured business, because a CEO without a budget or money is not really a CEO, right? If you have to go hand in hat every 5 minutes to beg for money.
So let
So
me let
Anthony
me
had
stop you
already,
there for a second, if you don't mind,
yeah,
and kind of go
no,
backwards a little bit. Um,
yeah.
when did salaries stop getting paid on time at the South
Um,
African office?
2049. At token 2049.
So that would have been September
Um,
30th, just about was when they were showed up. So I think Nick showed up about a week early. So say September 21st or somewhere in that ballpark.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so he flies out there.
So
You show up a couple of days before, like a day before. I know you had a grueling trip the night before and had to hit the ground running when you got there. I remember. So that was like September 30th, and pay started coming late at that point.
yeah, so contractually we are as our contract states that we have to get paid by the first of every month. That's our contracts. So Singapore, by the 6th or 7th, we still hadn't been paid. Now, for me, that's massive ramifications because it means I can't pay my lease. I might lose my
Right, you're
lease,
in a
my school
rental.
fees, myself, as well as the whole team. I mean, um, our DevOps engineer has a child coming. Um, our QA engineer, our tester moved down here specifically. Our mining guy got kicked out of his flat and had to go back to Joburg. So the implications were massive for my team. I will also then say, because I am going to be completely transparent, Anthony paid me out of his own pocket to make sure that I don't lose my house.
He told me that
I
he paid
repaid him.
a handful of people's salaries who were in dire straits or would be risking,
Absolutely,
and that
absolutely, out
essentially,
of his own pocket.
yeah, that he's owed money from all kinds of stuff, but that was one aspect of it. And
Yep.
between me, you, the fence post, and the entire freaking world, that he had to cover all kinds of stuff that really,
Yeah.
should have been
So
on a
so he
expense.
really, reached into his own pocket to help those of us that were in dire straits. And so did Jeremy. He also was there for the team as he's always been. And then it just went downhill. The month after, the staff only got paid at the 12th. It's now January. Some staff are owed money since November.
So
Anthony's owed three.
November 1st, they didn't get paid. They got the slow
December.
pay October 1st. Y'all got paid
Hmm.
like the 6th or 10th, and then November, coming up on the holiday season, no pay or very little. Now
Some,
I've seen the
not all,
question come
not
in
all,
here. How much?
not all, some,
Yeah.
some. Some, not all. There's been one or two people that hadn't been paid since November. As it stands right now at this stage, the whole group is owed December. The ones that have been let go, like me, are owed. I have been paid for December, but I believe that was just hush money because I was actually even paid on the wrong chain. And Anthony knows exactly what chain to be paid on. So I was actually paid on ETH, and we get paid on TR20. Um, I got paid my December salary. However, I'm still owed my notice period, which means 3 weeks from now, I can't pay my bills. But this is not about me. This is about the
Chanel
rest of
just
the
brought
team.
up a good point. August wedding. Yeah, good stuff,
Yeah,
Chanel. $50 million
yeah,
wedding. You just paid
yeah,
what, 200 million or something like that for your gaming licenses,
yeah,
and stuff like that. And then
yeah.
you got as multivitamin over here says, he's got a $50 million wedding cake, and then all of a sudden he comes short on the Alpine payment, and then that becomes um, something that they're having to hustle for to get the money to pay Alpine, and then salaries are late.
Late payments got it.
There's only one
Exactly.
real conclusion to
Or
make
no
with this.
salaries. At this stage is no salaries.
Right.
Jeremy's owed 2 months of salary. Anthony's owed 3 months, plus expenses that he paid out of his own pocket for his staff. The rest of the people are owed their December. The ones that are let go, apart from me, are owed December plus notice. Um, that's as it stands right now. Um, I sent Nick a WhatsApp yesterday where I said that I will give you the whole of tomorrow. That was yesterday, to make sure that my team gets paid. If you don't, I'm going to speak to a crypto journalist, and then I'm going to speak to you.
I talked to Liam
I don't,
extensively as well. What a nice guy.
yeah,
Actually,
he's great.
yeah, he's
He's great.
watching right now. Hi, Liam.
Yeah, he did ask me. He did ask me, hey, Liam, I hope I'm not giving the scoop away yet. Um, yeah. So
Maybe
I
we'll get him
then
on the show after the article drops, and we can chop it up a little bit.
yeah. Also, not a lot, all of the staff has token allocations as part of their package.
Right.
So, with I'm also the only one that received a MSA, a mutual separation agreement, or an NDA. It, in effect, is a gag order, which I refuse to sign.
Yeah, it was
Um,
a mutual separation agreement, and there was nothing mutual about your separation.
no, it was
I remember
absolutely ex
she called
parte.
me on the
It
phone
was one
crying.
way, one way. There's no an agreement means we've agreed upon a certain point. There's no agreement here. He
Right.
said to me, sign it. And I am the only one in the team that got one. I did ask the whole team if anyone received one. Not all of them responded, and I understand why. But the ones that did say they didn't. So I can then also just make a fair conclusion that I'm the only one that got set one, which I've refused to sign.
Well,
Um,
I get emails from one of them is GK sucks. That's a pretty cool one. I don't remember what domain it's at, but it's somebody from within the BlockDAG uh, team, or they're either I don't know if they're fired or whether they're still in. I have no idea, but they're an anonymous person, and so I get a few emails because I put my name out when I first came into this and saw it. I was noticing that a lot of people were really sketchy, and I said, I'm going to be different than what a lot of people are doing in this uh, crypto space. I'll just put my name out there, and here's my phone number. There's my email. You know what I mean? Give me a call. I I got nothing to hide from. You know what I mean? And so,
for
anyways,
sure,
I get
for sure.
emails from all kinds of people with
Yeah. Yeah. So,
corroborating
so
data that you're saying. You know what I mean? So it's like you can say this, but it comes in other forms that corroborates what you're saying too. Oh,
yeah. So Anthony was completely hamstrung in terms of what he could do as a CEO. If you don't have money, you can't pay the bills.
right.
I mean,
Money equals
what
action.
can you do? Exactly. There's not much that you can do. However,
And talk
under
about
GK's promise,
being in the sorry to interrupt again, but in an environment where people aren't getting paid and still showing up to work, the entire cohesion and productivity goes down. People are more downtrodden and they're just not.
it was hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. But Jeremy's vision, his passion, his commitment. I've never seen anyone work like that. That man is a machine. Actually, I know he's a robot. No person can work those hours. Um, and I can say the same for Anthony. I got emails at 3 o'clock in the morning of him still working. The team really put in midnight hours. I mean the whole team, the international team as well as the South African team. They really went over and beyond.
When you say
And I'm
international team, I want to be clear because we have the Dubai marketing team.
no,
So
not them.
I just
No,
want to be
no. I'm
clear
talking
since
about
we're on
BlockDAG
right.
employees.
So
BlockDAG employees.
these international teammates, I think y'all had some developers in India, correct? Or
Yes,
you
but
are
they were not BlockDAG
that so
employees.
that's not
Those
them. Who are
were
these international? What can you tell us more about? Tell us more about how many people worked for BlockDAG that you were aware of that were working on this and developing it that was coming on
27.
payroll.
Well, 27, but not all of them were
Right,
developers.
27 between the human
We had
resource.
Maurice that was an advisor.
Right, right.
Um, he worked sporadically. There was Stephen Clark who put out his name and reputation out there at massive cost as head of ecosystem. There was Marcus, who I loved to bits. So they were official BlockDAG employees. That's not marketing. That's just us as a team. Um, Working crazy hours. To support Jeremy. I still support Jeremy. I still think that if anyone can do this, that is Jeremy. He is a genius. And he mentored me. He taught me so much. And I did betray his trust because I posted a post that he sent to me. And I did that because right now my two concerns are just very easy. I want my team paid and I want the community to get what's due to them. That's it.
We paid
That's all I care.
for a layer one DAG that was functional, that had been tested, that had been audited, that had the X series miners, especially the X30 and the X100, distributed to all of its purchasers. So it had been, so we could test the network at scale prior to any sort of listing or trying to put it on the marketplace as a quasi finished. In theory, it works. Here in a test net, we seem to be doing all right situation. And then that's not even to mention the X10 proof of engagement miners. I mean, this is like a contractor who comes in and leaves your house a mess and then expects a final check.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just that's not the way it goes.
So,
You don't cut the
no,
final check until you got the damn product. We already paid for it.
exactly. Exactly. And there should have been full transparency from the word go, because that is how you run a blockchain, transparent blockchain. There's no point in being decentralized if you hide the money. Oh my gosh. Then it's just a Ponzi scheme, in my opinion, or a rug pull, or the rug pull has already happened. I don't know. I then further to that, just before I got fired, got a phone call. In this phone call, the person disclosed to me that G and Nick was going to fire the complete team from top to bottom, everyone. And they are going to build out this blockchain with Antia, which is the Indian team. I am not a developer. I can give no technical opinion or advice here, but I've sat in their meetings, and there is no way on God's green earth that they can bring this to mainnet. There's no way. There's no way.
You're talking about the Indian team that was
The
contracted.
Indian team,
We're not going to be able to.
the Indian
Do you
team.
know what they were building? Like what were they? What were
Um,
they adding to the project?
well, just features and all of that kind of stuff. The main core blockchains the building of the main core blockchain was sitting with the South
So they
African
were working
team.
on the Explorer.
Yeah, yeah,
They
all
were
that kind of
working
fluffy stuff.
on the the
Yeah, yeah, just fluffy
faucet
stuff.
stuff like
The
that.
fluffy stuff. I mean, yeah, no, please. Um, the IP, the technology was all developed by the South African tech team, Jeremy leading the way. The CIO is one of the best SRE engineers I've ever met in my whole life. I mean, we're dealing here with people that actually knows their shit. And they were the ones building the actual blockchain. Um, then what happened? I'm losing my train of thought. Oh,
Here, I got a
I had
question.
my
Oh, go ahead.
go for it.
So,
Oh,
when did you
yeah.
first hear that miner payments were due and we had to pay for the miners? When did you first hear that it was time to pay for miners and that we weren't getting the money to pay for these miners?
I was never responsible for the
You
miners.
didn't hear
So
office
I didn't.
talk about it or anything?
No, 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 no. So I had receipts for like you and Mo mentioned before, printer foil that's owed money, October that's owed money. There's a few
Stephen Martin Clark. He did that uh, the
grants that are owed
The
money.
Zelf guys that were on the
Exactly.
last show. He was involved in that
100%.
whole thing. Like he helped
So
recruit
he's
them.
Yep. So he's put his whole reputation on the line and all his connections on the
Yeah,
line.
now him like
Um,
25 grand or something like that.
and understanding not any of them knowing anything but that the founder's name was G. That's all anyone knew. And then Nick went to Dubai for 4 months. To the reasoning behind it, as I understand, was to be close to the marketing team. My problem with that is the marketing didn't change, so I don't know why you want to be close to a marketing team if you don't change their fraudulent marketing. By that stage, Nick was fully aware um, of everything. In my personal opinion, state he was part of the coup. He was part of getting Anthony fired. Um, in my exit interview, I he didn't even bother looking at me. To be honest, he was so busy on his phone, busy firing me. And I said to him, "Okay, I'm going to ask you some few blunt questions because you're firing me anyway. Why did you say 3 AMAs ago you don't know G is just a vendor? You don't know, no, he's nothing." And then suddenly he's all over the place. He's now the brainchild and the architect of all of this.
Who had no idea
So
about
how does
build-a-thons.
that please help me understand this?
Yeah.
And he said to me straight, I won't justify myself to you. So I said, okay, I do understand that. Then I asked him straight out, are you firing me because I showed loyalty to Anthony? He said no. It's because your position is redundant. What's funny to me is that Marcus is now doing hackathons and buildathons, which he is not in his remits at all. So my position wasn't redundant. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing hackathons and buildathons.
I got an
I
email
firmly
from
believe,
him today.
yeah.
Yeah, said I'll read it. Keep talking, I'll find it.
So basically, once I challenged him, he literally just put the phone or the online call down in my face. Um, I had a call from a person that obviously informed me that the whole team was going to be fired. That person was fighting for the team, as they know that only this team could bring this across the line. And I know for a fact that only this team can bring it across the line. They are really superstars, every single one of them. So I'm so happy for those who kept their jobs because they're worth every cent. Um, so the plan was to actually fire everyone from top to bottom. Um, and this person fought for whoever remained behind. Um, then what happened was the more the community started finding out stuff, I started doing my own homework. And then I started posting on the investors group about a week ago. I started posting things as I found it out. So it's not that I had knowledge of it for months and months and months and then came clean. I found it out and then immediately told the community about it. You could see the screenshots. Once again, that's my private information on my private WhatsApp. And you can see the time and date stamp of those screenshots. So I let the community know as soon as I knew, so that they have. You can't make a choice if you don't have all the information.
Right.
Have all the information,
They're
then you can
having a
make an informed
referendum
choice.
when they've been lying to the community for 2 years. And,
Yeah,
and nobody has the ability. I mean, they're as bad as the United States government, to be quite honest with you. You know, one big, huge propaganda machine called WPRO that puts out a whole bunch
yeah,
of nonsense, and people get pumped
yeah,
up and think they're going to make a whole bunch of money. And then when you sit
exactly.
there and start trying to say, hey, guys, we got problems, they're like, no, you can't speak bad. If you speak bad, you're going to ruin
We ban
everything.
you.
And like, you guys don't understand. There's, you know, $15 million in liabilities hanging out there that are just in sponsorships. That's not
Yeah,
even talking about any kind of regulatory issues that we got going on.
exactly. Exactly. And um, the funny thing for me is what you and Mo said the other day, that G said, I have the money. I have the
I got the
money. I
money.
have the money. I have the money.
Well, come on,
Where's the
cough it
money?
up, punk. Where I
Where's
come
the
from,
money?
we slap a dude around like you.
Like,
You ain't shit.
and yesterday when I challenged Nick on the group, he said to me, you know that we are busy processing payments. And I said to him, well, you've said that repeatedly for the last 2 weeks. What we don't have is money. So ipso facto, there is no money. If you can claim on your website 429 million raised, what is 140,000 for payroll? What is that? It's nothing. It's chump change. You can't even pay us. So um,
So y'all were paying
it's just like
26 people about
base
150 grand a year, or I mean 150 grand a month,
around about that,
somewhere in
yes.
that ballpark. So I mean, y'all weren't getting rich. I mean, I don't want to.
That's just salaries.
You
That's not
know,
operational expenses. That is just payroll.
right? So you're talking about what?
And
Hundred.
that was out the back pay from certain people that hadn't been paid from November, or um, Jeremy that's owed 2 months worth of money, Anthony that's owed 3 months worth of salary. Our basic payroll is just that amount. So at the end of the day, once again, this is my opinion and my opinion only. This is absolutely fraudulent from the word go. There's just no trust. You can say what you want. Show me. Show me what you claim. They couldn't even show you the receipts they promised you that they would last week. They couldn't even come up with a small amount of money that you asked for. So I believe that this final pre-sale is to get money because the other money has already been spent or sent to other businesses. Because at the end of the day, what would you be launching? You've got a chain with no DApps, no mining equipment. You, you've got a car without an engine and no wheels. Then you have your pre-sale launch, you make your final money. You launch a broken machine, and then you disappear. Because the fact is that the last four projects G had wasn't a failure. It was a massive success
Yeah, he got paid big
because he
time.
never launched. He never launched, which was great because
Right.
he made all his money, never launched, and then now comes and does the same thing. So, and this is just my opinion. I'm hopefully not a stupid woman, but I can count. So those weren't failed projects, those were hugely successful projects because you got the money out of the people you never launched. They were out of pocket, but you were sitting with all the pre-sales. So it's it looks unsuccessful because you didn't launch it, but it was very successful if you think about it. And also the cold wallet now going on chain with one of his cronies. I mean, this is just gangster stuff. It's just crazy. I mean, I hope Netflix makes a movie. I'll be playing Julia Roberts.
I call
Because
Matthew
this is
McConaughey.
hey, you got it. You got it. Yeah. So this is what I know. This is my experience inside, and what I've heard and what I've firsthand witnessed. And that's really it. I can just tell the truth, and be it as it may. I want my team paid, and I want my community to succeed. And now that they've blocked me or hacked my LinkedIn account, I can't even access my database. I can't even look for a job because I can't get into LinkedIn.
Yeah. So, correlation is not always causation, but when you start plotting data points, you can really start to figure out some things that are going on. Sometimes you need to do that in interpersonal relationships with people. Sometimes you're like, that's kind of weird. And then when it's consistent. So when me and Mo started going up against WPRO and Gerhan Kieselos, um, my Telegram, WhatsApp, Facebook, or Reddit, it all got attacked big time. And I'm still locked out of Telegram. I can't comment on public channels on Telegram, which I don't care. I don't even like Telegram, but it's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So my LinkedIn
we
account
had a
was hacked
3,000 page,
3 days ago, and my WhatsApp account was hacked this morning.
and it's kind of strange because your LinkedIn was hooked up to your Lisa at BlockDAG.network email. So
Exactly.
essentially, that's a fraudulent activity, most likely. You know what? I'm gonna make the accusation that that was utilized to access your accounts when they locked you out of there. They still had access to the domain.
Which I can't do because LinkedIn is a private information site. It
Right.
is my profile with my information. But I think they did that because they didn't want me to post to the community. I have a massive community on LinkedIn. So they didn't want me to post things there. And I think that's why they locked it out. But they had no reason to because up until that stage, I didn't say anything. Um, but once they attacked my livelihood, and of course, most primary, not paid my technical team that I recruited, um, yeah, then all bets are off. I'm sorry, all bets are off. I want my team paid. That's it. I want my team paid. And the fact that we didn't even get paid our notice or anything, I mean, we don't even know if we're gonna get paid. Never mind wanting to get paid. We don't even know if we're gonna get paid. Jeremy flew to Dubai on Sunday at his own cost to meet G face to face, which
For
I
the
find
first
very
time, right?
admirable. First time. I think he's had some meetings with him, but this is his real face to face meeting. Um,
I'll
I
tell you
know
what,
his
he
heart
comes
is
across like a real positive, pushy salesman type, like it's hard to get a real
Jeremy.
no, talking about Gurhan. uh
Oh,
Gurhan comes across, like you kind of understand that he's a bad actor or
he didn't
something
even
like
know.
that.
He didn't even know he had a block. He didn't even know